So guys, welcome to the PNG Pacific Capital channel. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a small trading recap of the trades taken today, the 28th of March 2023. So basically, we had a pretty interesting day today. Actually had a nice winning session during London session, had a nice winning session on the first half of our trading session during NY session, and then at the back end of the NY session gave our profits back. So even though it's a losing day, I decided to do this recap anyways, so that maybe we can learn a thing or two from it. So okay, first trade, all this trade was taken live on the streams. So if you want to actually go through the live trading archive, then you could go to my channel where the live streams are and click on actually I'm going to put the links in the description, so you could potentially click on that link. So the first two trades was taken during London session. First trade was taken on the 30-minute time frame. So basically these were pretty much where I took this trade. So basically during London session, when I came onto the charts, this 4 p.m. candle was pretty much starting to close, and then looking to the left, it was pretty much I saw that it was pretty much we had a candle wick coming below, pretty much rejecting this 1969 area, previous support level that was formed during Thursday Asian session last week. This support was formed, and the 4 p.m. candle for London session pretty much looked to be rejecting this level. So at that point, pretty much upped onto the 30-minute time frame and was looking for buys at that level. So as soon as this 30-minute candle closed bullish, decided to execute a buy over here, anticipating price to respect the 30-minute candle low and start pushing bullish. So as soon as I executed a buy here, pushed up a little bit, came straight into drawdown. So this was all taken on the live stream, so you can go back and watch it. And as soon as price was coming into drawdown, I decided to go against one of my rules, and that was a pretty much had FOMO kicking in at that point. Decided to scale in on my position while I was in drawdown, and because I scaled in on this position while I was in drawdown, as price came back up, I decided to close everything out at around break even, because I figured, realized that I was breaking my rules, so decided to cut the trade at that level. So as soon as I cut the trade, I was pretty much waiting for a stronger confirmation to take buys, because I was pretty adamant on the 1 hour time frame support level right over here at around 1969. So the second trade I took was pretty much based on the 50-minute time frame. So looking at the 50-minute time frame, this was a fairly simple trade. This candle closed bearish, creating some sort of creating resistance right here, and then as soon as this 15-minute candle right here started pushing up, breaking above the previous 15-minute candle high, executed a market entry right as we were breaking above the previous 15-minute candle high, and then price came up, secured 10 pips of profits right there. So we were in profits for London session. Had a little bit of running, but pretty much got stopped out at break even at that level. So that was pretty much London session, and then we called it a session at that point and moved on to NY session. So NY session, pretty much the same trade taken during NY session. So basically during NY session, we had the same scenario that repeated itself during NY session. We had a support formed, a resistance formed, and then as soon as this 50-minute candle did a bottom wick and started breaking above the previous 15-minute candle high, executed a market entry, took buys right over here as we were breaking above the previous 15-minute candle high. Price came up, secured 20 pips, and left the runner running at break even. Price came down, stopped us out back at break even. So that was the first trade for NY session, and I should have called it a session at that point because we were pretty much up for the day. Now this is where I made a mistake here. So I decided to give my buyers a second chance, potentially get in on potential buys. And this is where I got caught, right here. So basically, right here, as soon as this candle closed back bullish, and then this candle closed bearish, creating resistance here. As soon as this 50-minute candle pushed up, did a market execution right over here. It was breaking above the previous 50-minute candle. Now the reason why I took this trade was because I thought, looking to the left, we have clean traffic coming up all the way, and if price was to break above the previous 50-minute candle high, I was anticipating price to start trending at that point. But unfortunately, it just after executing over here, price came back down and closed bearish. Now at this point, I should have called it a session at this point. I mean, I should have looked to manage risk at this point and, potentially cut my trade, because we were anticipating this candle to stay bullish, but it closed bearish. Now at that point, I was pretty much hoping at that point, that was a very bad scenario to be in. So I was pretty much anticipating, so this was pretty much the 11:30 candle. I was actually the hour candle was still open at that point, and I was really anticipating the hour candle to override this 50-minute structure and potentially push bullish. But unfortunately, now looking to the left, I totally didn't take this price into consideration. This 1950 level over here. Now 1950 level is a pretty strong psychological level, and as soon as it rejected the second time over here, I should have known better to cut my trade right as this candle was closing back in this range here. So at this point, my stop loss was down here, and to be honest, I sized up a little bit on this trade because I had a winning. I was up in profits for the day, so I pretty much decided to risk all my profits, which is a fucking stupid thing to do. Anyways, this candle came down, pretty much took me out over here, lost all my profits back to the market. So, it is what it is. This is the thing about trading. I decided to do this trade, so do this recap, even though it's not a winning trading recap. I decided to do this trading recap, even though it was hard, but these are things that we could learn from. And once we took this loss over here, it was now the time to decide if you want to get back in, make some more money, or call it a session at that point. As you all would know, habit of a bad trader is if you take a loss, try to get back in and have FOMO, try to make those losses back, over trade, over risk, and you potentially end up having a big dent in your account. So because I realized that I had FOMO kicking in, I decided to call it a session at that point and decided to do this trading recap. So yeah, that's pretty much how this is pretty much how we gave our profits back to the market. So it's not always we have a losing session. Sometimes these losing sessions are the pinnacle of success in trading. There's always something to learn from a losing trade. You either learn something from it, or you use it as an opportunity to build your character. Because most traders these days, they tend to overtrade, over risk, and if you really think about it, the only way to lose your account is if you overtrade and over risk. So if you can identify how your emotions are going and how you see FOMO starting to kick in, that's a pretty positive thing to have in your learning curve in your trading journey. So yeah, losing day today, but a lot of things to learn from it. So I hope this helps. This trading recap right now that I'm making right now, the links of the trading archives will be posted on the description. So check that out if you have time on your hands. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the session. But we're gonna come back, show up every day, and do the same thing again tomorrow. I mean, stick to a plan, but not overtrade. I mean, not. Yeah, I don't know. Shit, this is my first time doing this, so bear with me. I'm gonna be doing a lot more of these trading recaps, so we'll see how it goes. Cheers, guys.